What's going on, everyone? Anthony from Chronometer Check here, and today we're going to be reviewing what I'm going to call the Orient Kamasu II. Now, this isn't the official name. They're kind of blatantly calling it the Orient Automatic Diver or something a bit generic like that. But I do believe it's some sort of sequel to the beautiful Orient Kamasu that was released in 2021. So let's open this bad boy, take a look at it, see how it compares to the Orient Kamasu, see what's different, and if it's worth the purchase. Okay, so one thing I noticed right off the bat is obviously this really cool gradient dial. Now in person it looked kind of gray and dull and a little bit boring if I'm honest, but in person it does look a bit more dynamic than I would have expected. Instead of a gray, it kind of stems out from a very bright silver in the middle and then kind of branches out towards a black. So it is a very cool dial that looks a bit better in person, honestly, than I would have thought. Let's check out this unidirectional bezel. Feels very good, very satisfying. Clicks into place perfectly. I believe it is 120 clicks. Let's compare that to the Orient Kamasu. I'm gonna say the bezel in the Kamasu feels a little bit harder to grip. It feels a little bit more shallow, whereas this one feels like it has more of a distinct coin edge, so it's so much easier to actually turn. And actually, good job, Orient, on iterating and upgrading on that, because that's definitely a step up in my book. So clearly they're going for a kind of like a tropical style diver on this one. This one would look phenomenal on a tropic style rubber strap. Comparing it to the original Orient Kamasu, as you can see, there are a few differences, namely the style of the bezel insert is a little bit different. As you can see, it doesn't have minute markers along the bezel like the Kamasu does, so this one looks a little bit more simpler. As you can see, they're both using the same new Orient logo, both have a date, both have loomed hour markers and very similar handsets with the arrow for the hour marker and the sword for the minute hand. They both have triangle pips at 12 o'clock. The one key difference, however, with the hour markers lies in, the circular hour markers. So this one is a bit more sort of Rolex Submariner inspired, if you can kind of picture that, with the variations between the hour markers, whereas the Orient Kamasu is just kind of standard throughout. Now there are a couple of different color variations, including a Pepsi, as well as a green dial one that does look pretty cool as well. However, I opted to try this one because honestly I don't have a black diver in my collection anymore. Sold off my Seiko SKX 007. Of course I still have my 009. That one will never leave my collection. Kind of fell out of love with black divers for a bit because I felt they were a bit too similar throughout. You know, they were all kind of one inspired after another and all very similar, but now I just simply don't have a black diver in my collection and feel like it's kind of been missing, and that this might be a cool alternative. Not sure just yet if this one's gonna be a keeper. To be honest with you, I'm not head over heels with it, just because I already love my Orient Kamasu and I think it might be a bit too similar for me to keep both. But anyway, a few more things about this watch. It comes in just under 42 millimeters in diameter. It has a case thickness of 12.8 millimeters. It has a day-date wheel. It has an Orient in-house movement, a 22 millimeter lug width, including a bracelet that is very similar to the Orient Kamasu. I believe these are hollow end links, and by the way, this is a third-party aftermarket Jubilee bracelet from Strapcode, in case anyone is curious. Links in the description to these watches. Now, let's talk about price. Right now I see these watches going for about $250. The only thing holding me back from recommending this watch is actually this watch. I mean, if you could get this for under $200, why would you get this for over $200? I mean, I guess it does have a few cool different color variations with gradient dials that the Orient Kamasu does not have. You know, they have more of that sunburst dial style. So I guess if you are kind of more interested in this dial style or this hour marker layout, you know, this one appeals to you more. Yeah, spend a little bit extra money. But if you just want a really good value dive watch, you know, these both have 200 meters of water resistance. They both have sapphire crystals. They both have in-house movement with hacking and hand winding. Speaking of which, let's give this a little wind. Okay, first unscrew the crown. Now we wind it. Okay, yep. Just as I expected, exactly the same as the Orient Kamasu, same movement. You know, it does have hacking hand winding, doesn't feel the smoothest, it does feel a little bit gritty, a little bit like it's an affordable watch, but it is an affordable watch, so I can't really fault it for that. I mean, it does have all the other kind of perks that you would want with a watch like this. Ultimately, if you want a really great value dive watch, but you're not a fan of the styles that the Orient Kamasu offers, definitely check out this new lineup. Kind of call it the Orient Kamasu II for now, unless they come out with an official name. I think these will really make anyone happy who's looking for an affordable, automatic, true dive watch. I think these are very versatile pieces that can, you know, really be a one watch collection or complement an already existing collection. You know, maybe if you have a dress watch and you want something a little bit more sporty, a little bit more tooly to wear, maybe on the weekends with jeans, etc., this would definitely be a great complement to that, while still looking pretty somewhat refined in the process. Definitely has that classic feel. That's about it, guys. Two very great and affordable value for the money dive watches. Can't go wrong with either of these, honestly. I think they're both going to be mega sellers and very good value propositions for what you get. So definitely check it out. Link in the description below. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this new Orient diver and how it compares to the previous lovely Orient Kamasu. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already for more watch unboxings and the like. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. Thanks for watching.